Hello, callers. Welcome back to Viva Barca, and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest transfer stories. We start with Frank Kessie, as it have been reported that Serie A giants Juventus are eyeing a loan swap for the 25 million rated Barca star, but Barcelona prefer a permanent exit. We are going to be discussing about that as we progress. Then, secondly, talking about this other transfer news claiming that Barca could sign this 26-year-old right back who plays for Mallorca by the name Pablo Maffeo, and of course, plus 10 million for 10 million euros plus inclusion of a player on loan. We are also going to be discussing about that. So guys, as we get right into the stories in much detail, please, if you haven't subscribed, endeavor to hit the subscribe button, turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Barcelona have had their fair share of trouble finding suitors for unwanted players this summer. Why Ferran Torres and Sergio Des have not been able to attract clubs, Frank Kessie has been quite picky in choosing his next destination. The Ivorian has been courted by Saudi Arabian clubs, but he is apprehensive about moving to the Middle East. However, according to Mundo Deportivo, Kessie has now become a target for Italian giant Juventus. Kessie, whose market value is 25 million euros, is open to the idea of returning to Italy as he feels respected there. The midfielder has had a successful spell with AC Milan prior to his move to Barcelona last summer. As per the report, Juventus wants to sign Frank Kessie as a potential replacement for Paul Pogba. The Frenchman has been flirting with the possibility of leaving Turin this summer amid interest from Al Ahly in Saudi Arabia, with the likes of Ruben Neves and Sergej Milinkovic-Savic recently making the move to Saudi. Even at their peak, Pogba at 30 could follow suit. That is where Kessie comes into the fray. Juventus, though, are only interested in signing the Ivorian on a loan deal for now. Juventus coach Massimiliano Allegri is a huge admirer of Frank Kessie, as the player offers a lot of work ethic on the pitch. However, the Bianconeri only prefers to sign the Ivorian on a temporary basis. Barcelona, for their part, prefer to sell the midfielder on a permanent deal this summer, as they are desperately looking for an infusion of cash. As such, the Italians are also looking at other alternatives in the market as well, including Rodrigo de Paul and Thion Koopmeiners. It appears Barcelona and Juventus must hold proper dialogue regarding a potential operation for Frank Kessie if they are to meet their goals this summer. It will be interesting to see how this transfer saga transpires in the coming weeks. Frank Kessie's future still remains undecided. It still remains very uncertain, as every single day we keep talking about the player and where he might go. Because from the look of things, Frank Kessie is still reluctant to leave. Understandably so, because he have just stayed just 1 year at Barca and he doesn't feel like it's a good idea for him leaving just after 1 year, and of course his contract expiring in 2026. The player is trying his best to understand the situation that Barca are currently going through. And of course, it hasn't been easy for Barca to look for a suitor for him. Majority of those clubs showing interest have come from the Saudi Arabian League as usual. But from the look of things, Frank Kessie is very reluctant to go to Saudi Arabia, as he's still just 26 years old and he still has a lot to play in his prime. And now, talking about clubs in Italy, we have been hearing the likes of Inter Milan quite a lot, heavily linked, but the interest from Inter have cooled. Now we're talking about Juventus. Juventus have been showing interest for quite some time now for Frank Kessie as well, but what they want is not what Barca wants. Juventus wants but a loan deal for Frank Kessie, but Barca are opposed to that idea, as the Catalans want but a permanent deal, and they want at least 25 million for the player. So As it stands right now, there is still no certain destination for Frank Kessie, who remains one of the players that Javi wants to remove from the squad next season, as he doesn't see him as part of his plans alongside players like Ferran Torres, players like Ansu Fati, but that one is still questionable, and some players, especially those players who were on loan last season. So where would Frankisi play his football next season still remains to be answered. Will he leave or will he stay? Despite his agent coming last week blasting the rumors of a potential exit for Frank Casey, but from the way the rumor mill is making things to be like, it's like Frank Casey's future at Barca remains very uncertain. Then moving on to the final story of discussion. Earlier this week, reports emerged claiming that Barca manager Xavi Hernandez likes this Mallorca's Pablo Maffeo as an option to reinforce the right back position. Now, building on the same, Catalonian radio is reporting that Barca are indeed weighing up a move for Maffeo this summer. The Blaugrana have already asked about the contractual details of the Spaniard, even though their priority remains João Cancelo. The Catalans are in the market for a new right back due to Jules Koundé's reluctance to play in the fullback slot. Several names have been linked, but it is Cancelo who is the preferred target, with a loan move in the works for the Manchester City player. At the same time, though, Barca are looking at other alternatives, one of whom is Maffeo. The 26-year-old has been with Mallorca since 2021, having initially arrived on loan from Stuttgart before making the transfer permanent last season. Maffeo has previously played for Girona as well and has good experience with an exposure in La Liga, which makes him an appealing prospect for Barcelona compared to someone like Ivan Fresneda, who has just one season under his belt at this level. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.